16 years of Lego sets, from big to small, Lego City to Lego Ninjago. Let's rank all of them on a super entertaining but educational, mathematically formulated graph, because that's cool and you're kind of already watching the video. Alright, and now for this incredibly scientific test to find out which Lego set is the best one from the past 16 years. We're going to give each category a rating out of 10. Nostalgia, plus likely I'm to use it for a stop motion movie, plus how playable it is out of 10, plus the buildability how fun was out of 10. Divide that score out of 40 times 100 to get a percentage. Starting us off, set number 1 is a starter set. It doesn't even have a name, and it's a scuba set. Rating this set out of nostalgia, it's a small set, so it always stands out when I pack out some of my Legos to dust them off. But seeing as I probably lost the Lego pieces, the nostalgia rating isn't going to be really high. I'm going to give it a solid 5. Now the stop motion ability, like, if you look at this logically, it has to be a 0, but if I can regain the lost pieces of the set, it might be helpful for some underwater stop motion, but it's going to be incredibly difficult. Enjoyability, maybe taking these Legos to the pool. I don't know if Lego recommends taking the pieces to the pool. This is really easy set. It's a 5 to 12 years. I didn't find it entertaining at the time. The second set, with the set I actually also lost probably in the abyss of miscellaneous Lego pieces, is set 60053. This was one of my first race car sets, and it probably introduced me to Lego. It's really easy to incorporate this into to make a stop motion film because it's a race car and I do have some racing base plates. Now to play with the car, I mean, it's a race car. It is 6 studs wide, apart from the newer sets which has 8 stud wide cars, but the collection of our Lego speed races is most of them 6 stud wide, so I can really incorporate this into playing with my little brother. And then buildability, it's a quick set, it's not hard to build, but I mean, it's a race car with wheels, more moving objects than this one. So the third Lego set on our list is a scuba set, also no name, probably a starter set. Now for the nostalgia about this set, I'm actually surprised I can remember the story behind it. Funny, and I remember I was building this inside of the car on the way to my cousin. I think they got their first child, so that day wasn't actually all about me, which is pretty selfish. And now for buildability, I mean, I was able to build this thing in a car. Set number 4, no, I'm just kidding, it's not heavy, is one of the cars, a part of the Holy Trinity, the 918, the LaFerrari and the P1. Now this is a really nostalgic set because I think this is my first Speed Champions car and part of the introduction to Lego cars, which I used this in one of my first stop motion films. But looking at photorealism to the real thing was really fun. And then also I've put an aftermarket spoiler on this thing, which also improves horsepower, torque, and how cool it looks. This is a pretty special set. It's off season 12 Prime Empire of the Ninjago series, around that time where Ninjago was still really big, and now the new season doesn't even air in my country. It is Kai's mech suit, which is really ironic because Lego really love to build mech suits for stuff like Nexo Knights, Ninjago and superhero sets. Now for stop motion, this thing is going to be really hard to do some stop motion with because the only moving parts is the arms around the shoulder part and the pelvis. So for stop motion, so it's going to be really hard to animate this, seeing as I'm not a professional animator. Now the next largest set on the list is the Lego Batman Gotham City Cycle Chase, which I bought in pair with one of the bigger sets featuring later in this video, because I wanted to buy one of those big Ferrari truck sets, which was too expensive for little old me, but I've complained way too much about money on this channel, so let's talk about Lego. Now playability, seeing as this is 2 cycles, If you don't have friends, you're going to have to play with yourself and you're going to have to mimic 2 different personalities. But if you're cool like that, kudos to you. Yeah. Am I bamboozled or is this a faulty? This set doesn't have a name, but thankfully I am a Ninjago nerd and I can give you some context. This Lego set is from season 6 of Ninjago, since I'm an incredibly big fan. Season 6, Skybound. Now, our first 10 in a category, of course. No Lego set is a 10 out of 10 since I'm not a master builder yet. Seeing as the price is marked in euros, which is not our currency in South Africa, which bumps up nostalgia to our first 10, since if something happens to the set, yeah. I really don't want to be a party pooper, but I filmed up until this Lego Ninjago set. I went back to my phone to review the footage and there was no audio. Now this will be a really fun set to animate, seeing as it's a car, but the thing that really stood out for animation are these tools, which I can use in animations to give it a little bit of oomph. Really impressive set, actually rather easy to build, and I think that's where we can come to a paradox, is you can't have a small set or a fun to build set, easy to animate and fun to play with. One of them has to come short to let the other two shine. But we'll see with the next few sets if that paradox might be answered with different types of sets. Oh, what a set! Also no name, but 60117. Now what will make this set incredibly nostalgic is one of my first sets, and I remember building this thing and I was really impressed with the building techniques using this thing like a caravan. And along with the caravan, not being detailed but having a background will really help with animating, since I'm not a professional at animating, but I might look forward to start doing that for this channel. Now this set is a perfect example of give credit where credit's due. No name 60084. I mean, this is a really beautiful set. You can ride a bike up this thing. With a little bit of blue tack animation, it's going to be beautiful. And for a young boy, I think this was a rather interesting set to build. Let's hope this set has a name. The Avengers Speed Biker Attack. Now this set and the following set really has a special place in my heart because I saved up for the entire year to save up for this, to buy it on vacation at one of South Africa's biggest mainstream Lego distributors. I can remember buying this, cycling through a bunch of sets, but settling on this one, which has to make this set objectively a good set. Now, for stop motion and building it, it was a rather intricate set, working with some of these smaller parts to prioritize detail over a big set. Now for set 31098 is where we might start to see the answer to the paradox created. Some of these sets might be fun to build and easy to animate and fun to play with, and I think with these size sets we might starting to see that. Now, what makes this set super cute is, like, I wanted a house for stop motion, and I think this resembles it pretty cutely, nicely, sorry. Animation will be fun, building it will be fun. I mean, just look at the details inside of this deer horn. I mean, the eagle and the minifigures included is really special. Solid set. This is the part of YouTube. I make these videos for you and you can help me clean up this mess.
I look at you and it's easy to see. You are that someone I've been trying to meet.
I'm a 16-year-old male. I'm not going to tear up, but man, this, if I haven't already mentioned that I really like Ninjago, this was my introduction to Lego Ninjago. Now, apart from season 4, the Tournament of Allens being a banger of a season, this was the first Lego set I received about it. I think we found the answer to our paradox. And I mean, just look at this thing. You can hold it like that and like... Now, I think I'm going to mention this for the first time ever in this YouTube channel. I think mathematics and physics is some of the coolest things on earth. On YouTube, I have a life, I promise. Just look at this. The piston's turning to top dead center of a 4-cylinder engine. Man, what a set. But I mean, this will never be used in a stop motion film. So that's technically a 0, but There's probably a place for everything. Set 70625. Now, apart from Hands of Tying of a Ninjago season not being the best of seasons accumulated, received by critics, what a set, man. Incredibly fun to build. I can't remember when I got it, which probably penalizes me because, I mean, that makes me sound like a spoiled brat. But I can remember building it, and I was really impressed by the way this thing can turning the wheels into each other. Now, Jestro's Evil Mobile. Wow. I bought this set along with the Batman one because I actually wanted to buy the Lego Ferrari stuff, and long story short, I settled on this. What a set. To animate might be pretty tough because it's a big thing and I like using the macro lens and the camera to animate it. Really fun to build. One of the biggest sets for a long time I owned. This is probably the creme de la creme of Lego sets. The Ferris wheel with over 4,000 parts now. Nostalgia, 10 out of 10. Building it, 10 out of 10. Stop motion, 10 out of 10. Thankfully we didn't include price in the criterion now, did we? Don't click away, we are not done. This is my formal application to be a master Lego builder. So if not you are Lego, please don't click away. I really don't mind the views. I have built some of my own contraptions, and the closest I can find is this modified red and camo mech that can articulate every limb, unlike the mechs we've looked at today, which actually scored really highly on our tests. And this air, land, beach buggy, airplane, boat and submarine, water vehicle that can also take minifigures is really impressive, and it looks pretty mean. So I think this is actually pretty nice potential shown by a 16-year-old.